Hello, and welcome back to our channel. Before we dive into yet another fascinating and mysterious stories, I would like to invite you to watch, to like, and subscribe to the channel. Also activate the notification sound. They told you the story wrong on purpose. Lilith was cast as the demon, Mary Magdalene as the sinner. One, expelled from Eden, the other, erased from the gospel. But what if their forbidden union holds the key to everything? This isn't just a myth, it's a spiritual code hidden beneath centuries of silence. In the Gnostic vision, Lilith and Magdalene are not enemies of faith. They are guardians of a deeper truth. They represent the sacred feminine split in two, power without permission, love without condition. Their union is forbidden for a reason. It shatters the very structure of religious control. You're not here by accident. If you've ever felt torn between rebellion and devotion, between desire and transcendence, this is your call to remember. The union of Lilith and Mary Magdalene isn't just heresy. It's a map, a spiritual rebellion, a sacred reunion waiting to happen inside you. Stay with me, because once you see the symbol behind the shame, and the wisdom behind the wound, you'll never read the story the same way again. Lilith, the demonized divine Lilith, never asked for permission to exist, and maybe that's exactly why they painted her as a monster. But in the Gnostic tradition, the mask drops. She's not the demon they taught you to fear. She's the spark that reminds you of your own sovereignty. While the world demanded obedience, she chose to rise. That's why when someone starts waking up spiritually, it's Lilith who shows up. In dreams, in inner rebellions, in those breakups that make zero logical sense but somehow set you free. She's not here to whisper advice, she's here to smash your chains. And don't think this is all just metaphor. A lot of women and even men start feeling this archetypal presence the moment they dare to say no for the first time. She's the woman who walks away from a toxic relationship without looking back. She's the man who refuses to keep living inside a mold that's killing him slowly. Lilith shows up in these cracks, in the choices that might shake up others but finally start healing you. She's the chaos before the breakthrough. And yeah, she stirs things up, but only because you were stuck in a system that kept you asleep. In Gnostic texts, Lilith isn't some evil entity to cast out. She's a forgotten teacher, a figure who holds a kind of wisdom that doesn't fit inside official altars. She's the fallen Sophia. The wisdom that dared to desire, to create, to move without asking for permission from the Father. That's why she fell. That's why she was exiled. And that's exactly why she's so essential. In the spiritual awakening process, the sacred knowledge she brings doesn't come wrapped in dogma. It comes hidden in the cracks of your own inner rebellion. Mary Magdalene. The light hidden in shadow. Now, let's talk about Mary. Not the Virgin, not the saint, Mary Magdalene, the one they called a prostitute, the one they tried to silence. But what if I told you she wasn't the fallen woman? She was the initiated one. She wasn't rescued by Jesus, she was the one who understood him. In the Gospel of Mary, her voice is calm, steady, sure. She speaks what the others are too. Afraid to say, she doesn't tremble in front of fear, she doesn't ask for permission. She reveals the truth. That salvation doesn't come from outside. Not from temples, not from systems, it comes from within. And that's dangerous, because when someone realizes they are divine, no one can control them anymore. Mary saw something the others missed. She saw the light inside the body. She saw the soul inside the wound. She didn't run from pain. She walked through it, and in that walking, she remembered who she was. To the Gnostics, she wasn't a sinner. She was the one who knew the all, the one he kissed often. Not because of lust, but because of frequency. She tuned in, she didn't need miracles, she was one. Descent and ascent. So here's the deeper layer, Lilith and Magdalene. They're not enemies, they're not even opposites. They're two aspects of one soul. Split by centuries of fear, broken apart by dogma. Lilith is the descent. Magdalene is the ascent. Lilith shows you the wound. Magdalene anoints it. One falls, the other rises. But they are both sacred. Together, they form a cycle, a rhythm, A map, not of sin, but of transformation. You've felt it. The rebellion that rises in your gut when someone tries to silence you. The peace that comes after you finally tell your truth. That's them, that's the code. They are not legends, they are languages inside you. The forbidden union. Now take a breath. This next part might change everything. What if Lilith and Magdalene were never to... What if they were one divine feminine being? Fragmented. Split into demon and saint. Because the whole truth was too powerful. Because if the world ever saw a woman who was both fierce and holy, both sensual and wise, it would break the system, so they cut her in half. Called one evil, the other pure. But they couldn't destroy her. You still see her, in dreams, in stories. In your own struggle to be whole, the woman who walks away from pain, and the woman who stays and turns pain into gold, they are the same. The spiritual revolution. This isn't just mythology, it's a revolution of the soul. Lilith rises when you say, I've had enough. Magdalene appears when you say, I remember. One burns, the other heals. One breaks the chains, the other shows you how to dance in freedom. Together, they shatter the lie. The lie that says you have to choose. Be good, or be powerful, be spiritual, or be embodied. You don't have to choose, you are already both. This is not about becoming something, it's about remembering what you were. Before the world told you to forget, body and soul, let's talk about the body. Religions said the body was sinful. Desire was dangerous. Pleasure was a trap, but that's a lie. Lilith teaches that the body is a temple. Magdalene teaches that the temple is also desire. They meet in the place where flesh and spirit are not enemies, but partners. In every dance, every touch, every sacred no, they speak and you've heard them. Every time you said yes to your truth, every time you walked away, even when it hurt, they were with you. Coming home, this story isn't just about ancient women. It's about you, your rebellion, your healing, your remembering. You've been told to be small, to be silent, to behave. But inside you lives Lilith's fire and Magdalene's light. They were never meant to be apart, and neither were you, so this isn't just a video. It's a mirror, a reminder that your chaos is holy, your passion is sacred, your love is knowledge, your knowing is power. You are not here to be tamed, you are here to be whole. The real reason they were split, you might be asking, why were Lilith and Magdalene split in the first place? Because control needs division. It thrives when you feel torn. Torn between spirit and skin, between desire and devotion. If you feel like you have to choose, you stay small, you stay silent. But when you remember, you can be both, you become unstoppable. That's the secret. That's the danger. The full feminine, not a saint, not a sinner, but a force of nature, and religion couldn't handle that. Lilith, the one who refused. Let's return to Lilith. They said she refused Adam, that she wouldn't lay beneath him, and for that, she was cast out. But what if that moment wasn't a sin, but the first sacred no? She didn't fall, she chose self over submission, fire over silence, truth over safety, and in doing so, she became the guardian of awakening. The one who meets you at the moment you decide you're done shrinking. Magdalene, the one who saddened, Magdalene, she stayed. But not because she was obedient, because she was sovereign. She walked beside Christ, not behind him. She knew things the others didn't. Not because she was told, because she remembered. She remembered that salvation isn't earned, it's revealed. That holiness doesn't live in temples, it lives in bodies, in love, in knowing. And that's why they erased her, not because she failed, because she succeeded. The forbidden teachings, the Gospel of Mary, cut out the Gospel of Philip, buried. Why? Because they hint at a truth the world wasn't ready for. That the divine feminine isn't just supportive, she is central, essential. And when Magdalene speaks, it's not poetry, it's power. She speaks of the soul, of how it rises through realms, of how the path to the divine goes inward, not upward, not metaphor, memory. Let me be clear, this isn't just mythology, not just archetypes, not just symbols. This is memory, encoded in your DNA, etched in your dreams, echoed in your trauma. Why do you think your deepest pain is so tied to your power? Because something in you remembers that before you were shamed, you were sacred. Before you were silenced, you were a seer. This is not a story to entertain. This is a call to reclaim. From division to wholeness. Imagine Lilith and Magdalene stand together, one with fire in her eyes, one with light in her hands. No more exile, no more erasure. What was split is whole again. They walk side by side, not as myth as you, your rage, your peace, your knowing, your mystery. You don't have to pick one, you are all of it. The sacred mirror. When Lilith rises, she shows you the truth. Unfiltered. Untamed. Unapologetic. She shows you your chains so you can break them. When Magdalene appears, she shows you what to do next. Not just burn, but bless. Not just rebel, but rise together. They become the mirror that shows you your full self. The part that walks away from false love, and the part that walks into sacred union. The part that says, enough, and the part that says, I remember. Your initiation has already begun. If you're hearing this, it's not an accident. You've already started. You've already felt the split, the ache, the confusion. That means you're close, because awakening starts where the story broke, and yours is ready to be rewritten, not with shame, not with fear, with fire, with oil, with the knowing that you were never just one thing. You were always both, the descent and the rise, the rebel and the revealer. Lilith and Magdalene. The divine feminine remembers. This isn't just about women, it's about the feminine principle in all of us. In men. In non-binary people. In everyone born into a world that splits the salt to keep it manageable. The feminine is feeling. Intuition. Creation. Mystery. And for too long, it's been buried, labeled irrational. Dangerous, unclean. But it never died, it only went underground. It whispered in dreams, in moments of heartbreak, in choices that made no sense, but somehow set you free. Healing the sacred split. The reason this hurts is because it's real. You were born whole, then taught to divide, taught that parts of you were wrong, that your emotions were too much, that your voice should be softer, that your power made others uncomfortable, so you hid it. Lilith held the part you buried. Magdalene held the part you sanctified. But both are holy. It's not about balance, it's about reunification, wholeness. The rebel and the healer, the sensual and the sacred, the raw and the whisper. Sacred rage and holy grace. Lilith brings sacred rage, the kind that says, no more. The kind that tears down what hurts you, not because it's angry, but because it loves you too much to let you stay caged. Magdalene brings holy grace, the kind that says, even this can heal, the kind that touches your scars and calls them stars. Together, they don't cancel each other, they complete each other. One clears the path, the other walks it. You've already met them. Think about your life. That moment you walked away even when everyone said stay. That was Lilith. That night you cried and felt peace rise from the ashes. That was Magdalene. Relationship that ended, not because it failed, but because it freed youth. That was their work. This is not mythology, that is memory. Encoded in your soul. You've already met them, you just didn't know their names. The soul's revolution. This is the revolution that doesn't need a flag. It happens in quiet moments, in fierce choices, in radical acts of self-love, in women who stop apologizing, in men who cry without shame, in every human who says, I don't fit your story, because I'm writing my own. That's the gospel they couldn't include, the one where the sacred isn't in the sky, it's in your chest, in your breath, in your breaking, and your becoming. Lilith broke the lie, Magdalene lived the truth, the return of Sophia behind. Both of Themis, something even older, even deeper, Sophia, that divine wisdom, the one who descended into chaos to remember herself in you. She split into Lilith and Magdalene, because the world couldn't hold her whole. But now it can, because now you remember. That's what this moment is, not new, ancient, not. Rebellion. Restoration. You are remembering the old way, the original script, the one not written in books, but in blood. In breath, in being, do you feel it? That ache in your chest when you hear this. That's not discomfort, that's recognition. You've been known this all along, that you are not too much. You are exactly enough, that your body isn't dirty, it's divine. That your voice wasn't meant to whisper, it was meant to shake mountains. That your love isn't weakness, it's a flame that turns cages into ashdot. You are not broken. You are becoming the holy flame. When Lilith left Eden, she didn't fail, she lit the fire. When Magdalene stood at the tomb, she didn't weep, she carried the flame. That's the same fire inside you now. It's not rage for destruction, it's rage for rebirth. It's the holy fire of of not this, not anymore, not for another lifetime. This fire doesn't burn your life down, it burns the lies down, the ones you were taught to live, the ones you were praised for following. But you always knew something was off. This fire tells the truth. The voice that was silenced, Mary Magdalene's gospel, was cut, her words removed. Why? Because her message wasn't comfortable, it was true. She said that salvation didn't come through hierarchy, it came through remembrance. That no priest could mediate your holiness. That no structure could contain your divinity. She said that the body holds the light. That love is the only real law. And that fear is a false god. That's why they erased her, not because she was weak, because she was too strong to control. Reclaiming the temple, your body, is not a burden, it is a temple. Not the kind they tell you to be ashamed of. The kind where the sacred lives. Every scar run inscription. Every stretch mark a hymn. Every breath a prayer. You don't need to leave your body to find the divine. You need to come home to it, because Magdalene didn't ascend through denial. She ascended through embodiment. She kissed the wounds, she didn't run from them. She touched the holy in flesh and in spirit. The return of the forbidden union here. It is the truth behind the myth, the reunion behind the story. Lilith and Magdalene were never meant to be separate. The split was not divine, it was strategic, because when a woman becomes whole, systems start to shake. When the feminine is no longer broken into roles, she becomes unstoppable. That's what this reunion means. Not just for you, for the collective. It's the remembering that you are both. The exiled and the exalted. The wild and the wise. The fire and the oil. What happens now? Now you have a choice to keep living the edited version, or to return to the original script, to keep dividing your soul or to let it come back together. This isn't easy, but it's real. You might lose people, but you'll find yourself. You might burn bridges, but only the ones leading to prisons. You might cry, you will heal, and in that healing, you will remember what the world tried to make you forget. You are not here to be good. You are here to be whole. The world after the reunion. What happens when the feminine remembers herself? Everything changes. Because when Lilith and Magdalene rise together, it's not just spiritual, it's cosmic. A new kind of world begins. One where women don't have to choose between power and softness. Where men are allowed to feel without shame. Where intuition becomes wisdom again. Where sensuality becomes sacred. This isn't utopia, it's truth. It's the original design. The garden wasn't lost. It was split, and now it returns in you. You are the gospel. You don't need a temple. You are one. You don't need a scripture. You are one. You don't need a middleman. You never did when you speak your truth. Lilith lives again. When you love without conditions, Magdalene lives again. When you stop asking for permission to exist, you restore what was broken. You are not just a witness to this story, you are the continuation of it. You are the gospel they couldn't silence. The final word of this speaks to you. It's because you already knew. Not in your mind, in your bones, in your breath, in the ache behind your ribs. You are not crazy. You are remembering, and when the remembering is complete, you won't just feel different, you will be different, not someone else. Your true self, the one who always knew that you were never just one thing. You were the whole truth into names.lilith.magdalene.you.